Hi, my name is Elizabeth Webb Watson. This is my video presentation for a mock interview. This is Class ECCE 1121 Practicum with Professor Susan McCoy. Today's date is June 20th, 2025. Enjoy! Hi, I'm Elizabeth Webb Watson. How are you?
Hello, my name is Lisa Bennett Watson. Pleased to meet you. Please have a seat.
Wonderful, thank you. Thank you for having me today.
Oh, you're welcome. How's your day been going?
It's been going very well. How about yourself?
Excellent.
Wonderful.
So, Elizabeth, how would you describe your teaching style?
Well, Miss Lisa, I am a little bit of a mixed learning style teacher. So first off, what I like to do is I really like children to be hands-on. And so really they are going to learn through that constructive play throughout the day. And then also I want to just make sure that my environment is full of love and caring and nurturing, but also be able to bring families in to create that diversity.
How will you teach children cultural diversity in your classroom?
Well, that's a great question. Cultural diversity is so important. And with that, they can learn so much through each other. So my first thing is every beginning of the school year, what I will do is I will send home an All About Me form. What that form is going to do is allow the parent and the child to work together to create this beautiful masterpiece that the child will come back to school and be able to tell us all about themselves. In that will also be their cultural diversity, and we'll be able to kind of explore every individual child, know more about them, and that way we can incorporate things into the classroom. I also plan to have all of our centers have not only English on them, but also have the Spanish of everything, because I know that we will have a lot of Spanish learners in this environment.
Okay. What are your views on weekly lesson plans?
Weekly lesson plans are so important. Weekly lesson plans, really what they're going to do is be that guide for me, but also let the parents know what we are learning. And I think that's just very, very important to be able to have that guide and know exactly at any given time what we're going to be doing. And as we're going through, sometimes lesson plans do need to be tweaked and changed just based off of what, each individual child in your class may need. So obviously I'll be going through and changing those throughout the year as I'm looking at each child. But sometimes throughout a week, I might need to look at it and change it based off of maybe how the kids are that week. Maybe we're a little bit more hyper that week and we need a little bit more gross motor, or maybe it's beautiful outside that week and maybe we want to go outside and kind of bring some of our learning out there in more of a natural way.
What do you find most challenging about caring for children?
Well, children, they're all so different. And sometimes it's a little hard to pinpoint exactly, what one child's needs may be versus another. So at that point, what we would be looking at is, where are we developmentally? Where are we when we're looking at different milestones? Sometimes that can get a little tricky, but at the end of the day, that's why we have checklists and we have WSO, and we have all of these work sampling sites that we really can place all of our resources and be able to really make sure that each child is where they need to be by the end of the year.
How would you handle challenging behavior? Please use examples to describe.
Sure. Challenging behaviors are very common in early child care education. When you have a challenging behavior, again, every child's going to be different. So one child is going to react differently to one attempt than another child will. So what you may want to do is use like a calming corner where the child can go and, they'll have different manipulatives maybe in there, sensory toys, things like that, that will be able to help the child self-regulate. But also you might want to take a walk with a child. You may want to sit down and have them color their emotions, all different types of things. Children really do need that extra love and support. And so sometimes even just giving hugs can really help a challenging behavior.
Okay. How will you track children's milestones within the classroom?
Sure. Tracking milestones within the classroom, personally, I really like using checklists. And those can kind of just go year to year, and we just change out the children's name. However, I do know that, taking anecdotal notes are very heavy as well in the classrooms. But another great thing that I like to use is taking video and pictures and being able to make a portfolio based off every child. And at the end of the year, the kids actually, what I will do is make 2 separate copies, and the child can take home their portfolio at the end of the year. And that way they can kind of see where they started and where they ended.
Okay. How will you incorporate the parents into the children's learning?
Parents, again, are so important in early child care. My biggest thing would be to incorporate them into the classroom learning. So again, like I referenced earlier, the All About Me poster, but I would like to have parents come in throughout the year and work with us, maybe doing some mystery readers, maybe coming in and doing different activities in the classroom with the children. Sometimes parents actually might not be able to make it in based off of work schedules, and that's totally fine. What I would love for those parents to do is pre-record maybe reading a book for the children, or even we could do a live Zoom. And then that way all parents get to be incorporated within the classroom. So I do have 2 questions. So how as a school do you incorporate families into that cultural diversity? For curriculum, what curriculum do you guys use? And kind of a piggyback on that, are there resources that you guys do provide us with that curriculum for us to be able to use, or do we need to find our own resources outside of the school? Hey, well, Miss Lisa, thank you so much.
Well, Elizabeth, thank you, and it was a pleasure to meet you. I have 5 more interviews to do, but I will be getting back to you.
Wonderful.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Bye-bye.
Bye.